I think I really do understand, after proselytizing this like a crazy man for the last year and a half, why local businesses really don't do video very much. I get it. It's not really that easy. I mean, it's not as easy as taking a picture and doing some text and posting it. And hey, if you have Hootsuite, it's so easy to post on your social media platforms. You just take a picture, you just stick it, one click, it's like, boom, it's done. It's like great, and then I can go back to it. I get it. Can't do that necessarily just with video, although if you have a video, it'd be great. So here's the deal. I think that you ought to find a place where you can create a video to tell your authentic stories that make you look great. Because it's an authentic story and you want to look great. And this is why I'm a crazy man about these shows. They're lifestyle shows. We have about 80 of our markets that do these. ciLiving is the one we do here. But here's why I'm a crazy man about these shows. So people go on and they talk about it, but think about what you could do as a recruiter. You go on and you share your authentic stories about how wonderful you are to work for. Yes, of course, that's exactly what you're going to do. And then you're going to talk about why the people who already work for you love you. Yes, you're going to do that for sure. And you're going to do it in an environment where people are actually making you look good, right? Now here's the deal. Most people think, okay, so I go on the TV show. I'm on TV, great, this is awesome. It airs at 4 o'clock, I go on, and great, and people see me. Okay, so this is cool. I'm going to tell you right now, when you actually go on and do that, that isn't even the cake. That's just the icing. You know what the cake is? The video file. At the end, you're going to have a 4 or 5 minute video file that you're going to get for, thank you, there you go. What are you going to do with that video file? You have a video file now that makes you look great, with you talking about the authentic stories about how wonderful your company is and how wonderful the people are who work for you and why they love you. And you're going to do what with it? Post it everywhere. It's going to live on your website. It's going to live on your social media sites. You're going to post it on your Facebook page again and again and again and again. It's an evergreen. What, in another year, you're not going to be a wonderful place to work for? Yes, you are. So you're going to be posting it again. You're in the video business. You're now done. You're in. You're there. You're taking advantage of the things and the trends that are happening. I'm just telling you, it's just the craziest thing. And you ought to do it a lot. You just should do it a lot. But you ought to get in it. So whether you do this show or you do something, but get yourself in the video game.
It's one of the most beautiful historic places to visit with an amazing coastline of communities.
Yeah, let's get out of town to Spain today. Jennifer Whalen, owner of Island Travel Group, joining us. So how many times have you been to Spain?
Just once.
Okay,
Just
but it was
one
a trip worth remembering.
It was a trip definitely worth remembering.
Yeah.
And it's all about the food. No matter how my story veers, it always comes back to the food.
So what was it about the food that was so special?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I got the best, I'm going to give you the best possible tip possible for traveling in Spain. And I got it from my bicycle tour guide. So that's your first tip.
Take a bicycle tour?
Take a bicycle tour. So there's all kinds of bicycle and walking tours in Europe.
Is that him there?
That is him. He's amazing, and he was so great. And so he loved. That's my little cousin. She's a hysterical little Southern belle, and she hadn't ridden a bike in 30 years. So she kept saying, "I'm praying for us," she'd say, and we just had to laugh. So he loved her. He ate her up. So he was our best bud, and he was raised in Spain. Gave us the best tips. And so that's my first tip: is go on a tour, buddy up with a tour guide. They love to share their experience and their history with you, and of course they love to learn more about you. So when you do, this gentleman, for example, took us to his favorite place to eat in Spain and introduced us to the owners. We had a great time touring, but we also learned the best possible tip. You always sit at the bar when you are eating, when you're dining. So every restaurant has a bar, and it's not, the bartenders aren't just drink makers. They have a play in the kitchen, what goes on in the kitchen in the restaurant. So they're not only making the drinks, but they're making the appetizers, they're making the desserts, and they're interacting with the guests at the bar. And because remember, Spain is all about tapas. So anyone who doesn't know what tapas is basically little savory dishes, like little mini dishes of whatever you want to eat. So when you go into a restaurant, you have the choice throughout Spain. On the menu, there's going to be a tapas price and a full plate price. So it might be like $1 for tapas, or up to $3 or $4 for tapas, depending on what the tapas is. And then there's maybe $6.50 to $13 for a full plate. So I said from the beginning, I'm like, I'm going to lose weight here because this is awesome. I just get these little bitty, you know, I might just start with 2 and then we'd share a dessert or something. And I did, because you walk everywhere. You know, you hear about European walking shoes.
Sure.
Well, I had to buy a pair while I was there because you walk everywhere, and
Well,
it's
and you're
amazing.
riding a bike, so.
Yeah, but the best part about sitting at the bar, this is what he told us. You always sit at the bar because the food is coming and going from the kitchen. So you get to see all the amazing food and what's this, what's that. And while you're sitting there talking with the bartenders and drinking your wine, they will slip you some tapas while you're sitting there. So as you're admiring it and saying, oh, that looks good, then they'll slip you some. So that's the key to learn, to meet the locals and hear all of their stories and get the best of the best in town, is meet the people. We even met like the owner of one of the restaurants where he took us. He had toured and been the tour guide for Harrison Ford the week before. So he had brought him into that little restaurant, and they had all taken selfies with him and Calista Flockhart. And so we did the same thing, like we got in the same poses and took our selfies, and so it was amazing.
And you can ask those people questions too. So if you want, like, he might take you to his favorite, which I think is always a good one. But if you want to go to somewhere, send me somewhere that's kind of out of the way, or an underrated restaurant. They can point you in that direction too.
Absolutely. He took us to the Jewish Quarter, which was really interesting. I'd never been to a place like that. He just really showed us around and, yes, gave us those tips. So that's the first thing you want to do, is hire a local guide for a local tour, and then just become their buddy and get all the information you can from them.
Yeah.
Well, plus
look
there's,
at these pictures.
Yeah, cathedrals and palaces and
What are we
lots of
seeing
history.
here? Yeah.
So
wow.
Spain is full of palaces and cathedrals. You could spend days touring them, and they are magnificent. They are so much more amazing than what I always brag about, my cathedral in the cornfield in Flatville, Illinois.
I know
There
exactly
is
which one you're talking about.
Gold everywhere. It's like 10 cathedrals in one, and they're throughout Spain. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely beautiful, and the palaces. And what's really interesting, because Spain is so old, and because there was such a really the Muslims were there first, and so like in the palaces, they may have built the first and second story of the palace, but then you can see how the architecture and the decor changed as maybe the Christians came in and built the third and the fourth story to the palace, or even in the cathedral. So the Muslims, they decorate, you know, so ornate and colorful, and then like the Spanish came in and the walls are bare because they hung tapestries. So it's all very unique and interesting. There's so much more to learn.
Wow.
And that's why you talk to a travel agent like
That's
Jennifer,
right.
right? And clearly she does tours not just to islands. Island travel is her thing,
Well,
but she also
every
does...
land is an island, you know.
Oh, is that what they say in the biz?
It is.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming
You're
in.
welcome.
It's good
My
to see you.
pleasure.
Take us with you next time, will ya?
I know, right?
Jennifer Whalen talking about vacationing in Spain. And if you need any more travel trip ideas, you can visit islandtravelgroup.com. We'll be back.